In this clip, I'll show you a stretch routine using the bench stretches playlist. Hey guys, David here, encouraging you to be active beyond the short term. Now this stretch routine comes from the bench stretches playlist, which you'll find a link to below if you want more information per stretch. Also check out the 30-second countdown function for each stretch, that'll be handy for you. Now additionally, along with the bench, you're going to find that most of these stretches use a broomstick handle for balance and also a foldable stretch mat for your knees. Recommend that one. So let's get into it. Alright, we have our bench, a mat and a pole to help us balance. And using the base of the bench, we're going to elevate the ball of our foot, keeping the heel on the ground, stepping through, and then pushing our waist forward as well. We've got ourselves a 2-joint calf stretch. Should be feeling it all the way up right to behind the knee. Make sure we keep our chest nice and tall. Keep going guys, we've got ourselves here 10 seconds and we're going to go into the 1-joint calf stretch. Our focus is more down towards the Achilles. We're going to step back first in 2, 1. Keep the weight now down over the rear heel. The knee is now pointing over the toe. And once more, we're standing nice and tall. Remember to breathe through all of this. G'day, Dave. "10 seconds away, and we are actually going to walk around to the other side of the bench and start again with a 2-joint calf stretch. Here we go. What we do to one side, we've got to do the other. Ball of the foot on the bench, heel on the ground, stepping through, getting that 2-joint calf stretch again. Halfway through. 10 to go, and we're going to be stepping back, keeping the stretched foot exactly where it is. Everything happens around it. Alright, stepping back, bottom out behind you, both knees are slightly bent. Targeted leg, the knee is actually trying to point past the toe. Staying nice and tall with that chest once more. "10 seconds away from moving into a hamstring stretch using the bench." Okay, release. Now stand side onto the bench. Heel is on, knee slightly bent, bottom out behind you, and reach forward with those hands. Remember, the bottom is out so that we get that nice pelvic tilt to lengthen the hamstring. Just keep thinking with those hands, reach forward, but make sure the bottom stays out behind you. Let's get ready to change to the other leg, and off we go. One foot down, the other is up. Same practice, bottom out behind you. Reach with your hands. Slightly bent knee at the back and a little bend in the front knee as well. Just keep thinking, bottom out behind you and reach forward with the hands. "10 to go, and we're going to move on to a hip flexor stretch. It's the first time we're going to be using that broomstick handle to help us balance. Okay, off we go. Grab the handle. The back foot is anchored on the end of the bench. Tuck the tailbone down. Push the hips through. Just remember to stay nice and tall with that upper body as well. And of course, breathe. Halfway through. 10 to go. For the sake of the camera, I'm going to spin around. 3, 2, 1. Round we go. Anchor the foot, tailbone down, push through, nice and tall with the upper body. Halfway there. Groin stretch is up next, so we are going to keep holding on to the pole, stepping away and be side on to the bench again. Off we go. Side of the shoe on the bench, dropping the hip closest to the bench down towards the ground and bending the supporting knee. Nice and tall once more with the upper body, and once more breathing. In 5 seconds, we're going to spin around and do it all again on the other side. Righto. Foot comes up. Right from this angle you can see that hip furthest away from the camera now is trying to drop down towards the ground to increase the stretch in the groin. Ten seconds away from moving into glute stretches. We won't need the pole for support with this one. Okay, resting the pole down somewhere. Don't be in too much of a hurry. Ankle over a knee. Supporting leg comes up, leaning your chest forward while your bottom is out behind you. And then it's a case of releasing from the hip and trying to drop the knee. Five away from repeating on the other side. So let's release the leg, bring it up over the other knee. Once more, chest tall, bottom out behind you, releasing from the hip to drop the knee. Halfway. Moving on to the quads. So we'll be pulling the mat out from underneath the bench and needing that pole for balancing support once more. Okay, here we go. Sliding the mat out, hold the pole. I like to put my finger in the shoe to help pull it up on the bench. And once more, hip down, push through, and we're away with a nice tall chest. The higher you have that hand on the pole, the easier it is to feel this through the front of the hip flexor and the quad. Halfway. Five to go, and we'll be swapping feet. Off we go, changing hands. It is a bit tricky on this angle to see, but I have actually put a foot up there. There it is. Righto. Just keep tailbone down, pushing the hip forward. 10 seconds to go, and we're on to doing a stretch through the upper part of our back, our thoracic region. Okay, no need to be as dramatic as me throwing away a pole, but just spin around. Elbows are just off the bench, bottom points out behind you, and then think about shoulder blades dropping down. And just exhale every time you think about dropping those shoulder blades. Ten seconds away, and we're up to our last stretch, which will be our chest. Okay, and release. A hand on either end of the bench. Drop one elbow and shoulder down onto the bench. Rotate away from it by lifting the opposite shoulder. You gotta breathe through this. Ten seconds away.
And it is as simple as just rotating towards the center and continuing to rotate so the opposite elbow will go on the bench. Let's have a look. Opposite elbow on the bench. Lift the original shoulder off. Halfway through our last stretch, how about that? 10 to go. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, well done. Job done, as they say. Yes.
Well, there you go. Why don't you let me know below what you think of this handy stretch routine using a bench. If you're after some more variety when it comes to stretches, I've got a couple more on screen here. One is on the floor and the other is standing up. And hey, look, thanks for watching, and remember to be active beyond the short term.